You are all coming here with a vested interest in flying, and most, if not all of you, wish to have a career in the industry. Congratulations on a job well done. During the regional competition, all your marks were reviewed, and Wayne and I were very impressed at the high standards we saw in the results this year.
50% of the mark on the NAV Canada exam, when 50% of your flight test submitted flight test reports were calculated together, averaged out, and that's how you all became regional finalists. Those marks have now been carried forward, and since we no longer use the second exam, the NAV Canada exam, here during Webster week, those marks will not count for the same amount as they did in the regional level, but they will be one of the assessments that are carried forward and applied to the marking scheme here this week.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's event. My name is Kevin Sutka. I'm one of the judges with the Webster Trophy competition, and we're here to honor these two folks tonight. So for tonight's proceedings, I'm going to say a few remarks about how important Amy and Wayne have been to this competition over the years, and then I'll call on some other individuals from the past and from the present to give you some information about how important they are also to this competition. Amy and Wayne took over the Webster Trophy competition in 2006, but it dates back to 1932. So this is a very important competition that has been in place for many, many years. It did have a hiatus for a number of years, and really since 1980 it's been going very strongly. They took over for the competition in Ottawa starting in December of 2006. So their very first one was for the 2006 or 2007 competition. The slides that you're seeing up there tonight are ones that that go from 2007 until last year. We haven't got ones for this year so far. And you'll see up there some of the people and some of the faces and some of the places that they've had an impact on over the years. But their participation in this goes before 2006 because Wayne was a flight test examiner for 2 years prior to 2006. I think that's how we sucked them into doing this for real, was to get him involved in that over those years. So their contribution has been 12 years indeed. So what did they do to help Webster? They built it up significantly from when they took over. For example, they went from one sponsor to over 40 supporters, and as part of this display that you're seeing here tonight, there will be a slide that will come up with all of the 40 supporters in one slide, and that's a significant change from when they took over. They expanded from one annual contributor to the finances to several new and ongoing supporters, and there's more added each year. They went from 35 applicants each year to over 100 by making significant changes, such as eliminating the need to find a Transport Canada flight test examiner for the regional tests to make it easier for people to apply. And they developed strong alliances with organizations such as the Air Transport Association of Canada and its flight schools for hosting the competition, which got the word out there and got the support going for getting more applicants to come through, and just like here, getting places to host this competition. There are many, many other contributions that they've made, but rather than you hear it from me, I'd like you to hear from some of the other people that have been involved in this organization over the years. And I'll start with the Webster alumni. And I'd like to invite Andy Midcott to come to the podium and give his perspective on the contributions that they've made. Andy.
Hi, as Kevin said, my name is Andy Midcott. I was the 2007 winner, which was the first year that Amy and Wayne took over officially. I was fresh off the boat from the UK at the time, and still getting used to Canada, so it was a great delight to have them guiding us and getting us in the right direction. It was in Ottawa, and I remember it very well. I don't know how I got there. It was a very big fluke, I think, because my commercial ride shortly after was terrible. But I got in, and I can remember flying out to Ottawa and meeting Amy and Wayne for the first time at the airport, and never been there before, literally fresh off the boat. The ink was still drying on my passport, and it was a kind of taking information for a fire. So I got to Ottawa, and everything had been arranged: hotels, transport, aircraft, everything had been sorted out for me. So it was a great relief to know that the logistics were taken care of. But for somebody taking part, it can be quite challenging, especially if you're not in the area, you're not used to the airspace, you're not used to the surroundings, and Amy and Wayne really take all of that away. They take all that worry and concern away. And it starts right from the beginning, because you do your flight tests and exams way before the event, and they're already dealing with the finalists and the competition right there. In fact, I know from previous experiences they will probably take a slight break after the event, and within weeks they're already on to the next one. So it's changed significantly. They travel all the time. I mean, I was here working afterwards and as an instructor, and they would come here every year and they would do their promotion, and they would be traveling to different airports and places all over the country promoting way before the competition even started. So from me, the alumni, and many, many years, and there's quite a few here, some older, some younger, you know, we thank you for what you've done to the competition, where you brought it, where you've taken it, and the next people have really big shoes to fill. So I'd like to thank you from everyone in the room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. And I'd like to now call on a representative of this year's finalist, Adrian Warwick, to make a presentation. Adrian.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm not going to talk about myself, because I think at this point I can speak for all of us, and we're pretty speechless on everything that's gone throughout the week. It's gone by in a flash. I know we all had fun last night playing the simulators in Canada. A couple of us had some pretty hard days. Yeah, driving them down. But I just wanted to extend a token of our appreciation to Amy and Wayne, and to thank them for what they've done. Mark's just going to bring something up.
You really want to win, don't you, Adrian?
On behalf of all of us, we thank you for all the work that you've done to make this week the most memorable week that we've had probably in our aviation career so far.
You're like Miss America.
Well, it's in the swimsuit contest. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These flowers.
I bet you much for that.
So while they're doing that, we'll go on to the next part of the agenda, and that is to call upon their successor, Brenda Reed, who is taking over this year from them, to make a little presentation on behalf of all of the Webster team. So don't go too far away, Amy. Got something else.
On behalf of the Webster team, we would just like to show our appreciation for their dedication to the Webster. And Julie. You're welcome.
What it is a memory box. And in there is a number of mementos from all of the years that they were involved for you to explore and remember. There's a copy of this presentation, for example, and several other mementos. So at your leisure, just have a look inside, and hopefully you'll cherish that all these years. Oh, I got her. Next on the agenda, I'd like to welcome to the podium Chris Pulley, Captain Chris Pulley, who's with the Brampton Flying Club, to say remarks on behalf of our host for this year. Chris.
Thanks, I hate the captain part because it means somebody wants something. Nancy knows about that too, sir. First of all, on behalf of the Brampton Flying Club, welcome to the Brampton Flight Center. Whatever. I hope you've had a good week. You've had some pretty impressive weather for September. For those of you who aren't from around this part of the country, the Great Lakes can create their own weather, like it did yesterday into this morning, and then the weatherman will figure out about 3 hours after what actually happened. Place to try to keep in pretty good shape, and it's actually an honor to have you folks here. One of the things about, one of the misnomers about the amateur competition is that you're not. You guys are a little bit of rock stars in the business. And one of the things that you're doing, because of the way that Amy and Wayne have kept this thing going, is that you've taken the part where you meet the standard a little bit higher. So you've done something very important with their help, which is to take the craft and turn it into an art. Now, there's lots of people out there that are system operators and airplane drivers, but there's not many pilots. And I see that on a regular basis. I see the divergence. And you guys are the core that will actually keep the profession intact moving forward. And you have to remember that. You have a responsibility here for part of that. The other thing is that Wayne and Amy are volunteers. And we get to vote on a regular basis for elections, like every year, every 3 years, every 4 years, every 5 years, whatever. But when you volunteer, you're actually voting every day for what you want the world to look like. And Wayne and Amy have made an investment to what they want this business to look like. And you are their proteges. So carry it forward and make them proud.
Thank you.
We have Brampton's Vanna White. For Wayne and Amy, this is for you. Please, thank you.
I just wanted a tea party. Oh my goodness.
Now, the pilot of that airplane is Claire. What's Claire's last name? Buxton. She is one of your competitors.
She was.
Yeah, so she's going to be staring at you forever now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
And don't go away, you two.
Okay.
We've reached that part of the agenda where you're welcome to make some remarks if you would like to.
I would love to.
Please do.
He's speaking for the whole request.
That only happens when in front of the crowd, otherwise the speaking comes from the other party. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you coming out this evening. It's been a real roller coaster ride for the two of us over the last 10 years. Fortunately, the roller coaster has gone uphill more than it has gone downhill. But it is a situation and an emotion and an event and any other descriptive I could possibly think of. It's going to be very difficult for us to step down, but having said that, it's time. It's time for a number of reasons. And we have never lost our enthusiasm, nor will we lose our enthusiasm. That's why I keep telling people that, yes, we're stepping down but not away. And for the purposes of assisting and consulting with Brenda, who's taking on with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm this project, we will be behind her 110%. Whenever she needs our assistance, we will be there. I cannot, on behalf of Amy and myself, walk away tonight and not suggest...
We have to do the banquet tomorrow.
We'll do, yeah, I'll be doing that too. But I cannot walk away tonight from this podium or this microphone without expressing our sincerest and our most heartfelt feelings towards the team that is behind us. Everybody says, Wayne and Amy, you did a great job. Wayne and Amy, you did a good job. Well, we didn't just do a great job by ourselves. We could not, and I seriously say this, we could not have done it without Tim Mell, without Arl Spear, without Kevin, without Brian, you know? And we could not have done it without the team behind us, 110%. Because when we needed advice, when we were feeling that we were on the downside of that roller coaster, then we could always go to them and we would always get our morale boosted. If we needed something that had to be done within the organization itself, the Webster organization, we could rely on them to come to our help and our aid. So it's not us. You know, we're the stewards, that's all we are. It's the team behind Webster that has really made this thing what it is today. And so, Tim Mell, as an example, somebody showed our 40 supporters. I would suggest 35 of those supporters came through the efforts of Tim Mell, okay? There's no two ways about it, and I salute him for doing the immense amount of work that he's done. So thank you for coming out this evening. This has really been quite an honor for us and totally unexpected as to what was going to occur. Nobody said a word, just said show up. Oh, I have to come in my underwear, or how do we appear? So once again, I appreciate everything. I especially appreciate the whole school, but they will hear me thank them more sincerely and profusely tomorrow evening. And good luck to our alumni, not our alumni, but our new alumni as of 10 o'clock tomorrow night. One of you is going to be extremely excited, another one is going to be almost as good as excited. The rest of you will remain excited because every one of you are winners, and remember that. We'll talk about this a little bit tomorrow night because every one of the finalists here is a regional winner, okay? You're the top 9 in Canada, and you presented yourself extremely well this week. So once again, thank you very much, and like I normally do at the banquet, I think I talked too much.
Thank you, Amy and Wayne. And we have one final thing to do, and that is I would like to call Arlo Spear, one of our other judges, up to the podium to propose a toast. And in order to do that, you're all welcome to come up over here and grab a glass of champagne.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard of the history and the work of the last 10 years. I know it's been a labor of love, but it's also been a labor. And we appreciate it very, very much. I'd ask you all to rise and as we drink a toast to Wayne and Amy.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You said Amy was in labor?
You didn't know?
Thank you, Arlo. And that's the end of our festivities for this evening, except to say that I wanted to offer my sincere appreciation to the Brampton Flying Club for hosting this event tonight, including the open bar and the food that we encourage you to have. So thank you all for being here, and please enjoy yourself. There's plenty of food, so have fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Just tear it, okay? Tear.
Nice wrapping paper.
My mother used to try and like, Annie, just open the fridge. Just rip it. We're like, oh no.
Treasure box.
It's a memory box.
Yeah.
No lock on it, right?
Yes. One beer? of course. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like I said,
Oh, that's
love
lovely.
the great idea. The book I didn't finish because I want to put this year in it to complete it at the reception. So I'll get pictures this year and then I can finish the book.
That's just the prototype.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
There you go.